back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Bat Châtillon 155-55. It's the Tier 9 French SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Siegfried Line, and it's under the command of Angelina75 of OLIMP, and yes, it's her contribution to this week's competition. She's got the improved rammer, improved gun laying drive, and the turbo device. Game on! Well, as many of you are fans of this series of games where Angelina and talon1958 try to beat each other so they can get the weekend lion. Now, this was the games from last week, and we already know the result, but or at least we will know the result at the end of this video. And Angelina's trying to win it, so will she do it? She's been on a streak of winnings since she got back, so let's see if she can continue it. Remember, it's the best replay that they can send in, and lovely good shot, 294, and she moves, and yep, lovely, very well done, avoids any counter battery. So yes, it's based on the mastery and then the number of medals you get and then the win 8. So if you get a really good mastery, because you get loads of stun assists, then that will definitely help you to win the weekend lion. They're both experts at playing now. Talon actually taught Angelina, but Angelina's picked up a lot. Look at that shot there, another lovely shot, only 76 hit points. But it did land just where she wanted it to on the enemy tank. Now, it's a 155mm howitzer. It's capable of 680 alpha. Ooh. 48mm per pen. 7.6 meters on the burst radius. And between 12¼ and 27 seconds of stun. So it's particularly effective. That shot, near but not close enough, but she did get stun assist. Look at that, 761. So it's a tier 9 game with tier 8 tanks in it, but somebody on our team was capable of doing at least 750 on their alpha, and I'm looking at the team list to see who that might be. I think it might be the T95 who just did that shot. And as a result, the FP4202 gave up 761 hit points, and Angelina picked it up. So I think it's looking very good for Angelina on this game so far. Okay, checking your angles. That looked to be a bit too close to the tower. And from here, oh dear, now the bad news here is that the enemy seems to have come south on this in the field. Our Barasca and our M53 are holding them back, but there's the K91. He was spotted. She fires in. Looked pretty good to me, that shot. Changing position again. Now, we've also spotted that the enemy are trying to come out the town on the F0 line. Well, F0 square. That could be dangerous. But she's found some more enemy. There's the FP4202 again. Oh, she wiped him out. What a shot. He won't be happy with that one. He'll think to himself, I've only just come to a halt. How did he get me just like that? Well, in actual fact, it's because Angelina is very, very good. Okay, there's that K91 PT again. And she's loaded. It's such a fast reload. And that was right next door to him. And she did get stun assist off that one as well. 759 hit points of stun assist. Now they are getting a little closer, so she's just trying to move over to the lake. And she can still shoot from down there. Okay, she's loaded already. The standard reload is 28.76 seconds. Angelina's reload is 23.68. She decided that the angle that her turret's resting at is not very conducive to getting good shots on the enemy, so she's decided to reposition again The enemy's leading at the moment by 2 tanks, but Angelina will probably try and rectify that. In fact, she's found a target. It's that medved, and she can't get a shot at him at this angle. So yes, it's too much angle there, so she can't lower the gun enough to get a shot. Okay. Something was spotted. It's the enemy Arty, which is also a Bat Châtillon 155-55. She fires in. Well, she got a stun. But the brass will take care of him, and he does, and we pick up the stun assist. So Angelina didn't need to worry because that one was perfect. Oh, she's been spotted. Somebody saw her, and I think it is the guys up ahead, but she's not likely to be counter-batteried now. Not unless the GW Tiger is that good. And there's a Barask on the field who's potentially could spot her very shortly. The enemy's heading south down the 0 line, the 0 column, I should say. And there's the enemy Arty. The remaining one. He's right at the back of the map. Okay, we've got a medved. She can fire. Oh, it went right over the top of his turret. But he goes down anyway. And so she needn't worry. She's got just under 2,000 hit points of stun assist so far, which is looking to me very much like an ace tanker. And the team are now 2 ahead of the enemy. So it has turned all the way around. They were 2 below earlier in the game, and now they're 2 ahead. Now, I think that guy's still there on that corner. It might be worth a shot just to see. She's marked the spot to say to your teammates, that's where I'm looking at the moment. The Barask is doing a quick circuit of the town. Most of our guys pulled south to defend their camp area. And so the enemy does have the possession of the town at the moment. Just saw the Scorpion moving about. Just need somebody to go in there and spot for us so we can put a round in. That shell might have difficulty hitting the target because the building, the roof, is actually too high. You look at the rescue, it's partially obscured. And that means obviously that the shell's got a very high probability of hitting the roof. At least 50% chance. Maybe slightly higher. She's now indicating that she's looking at the Gonkavitska. He pops around the corner, she fires. Gets a direct hit, 216, he's stunned. And she's moving to change position. I'd be very inclined at this point in the game to actually head north and try and take out the GW Tiger with a face-to-face shot, actually, a shotgun. She's going for the M103, just misses him. We know he's down at the middle of the map now, which means there's only 4 enemies remaining. The Scorpion was seen in the town. The GW Tiger was seen right at the back of the map. The Charioteer's moving forward to see if he can spot. They've lost another one. They just lost their Gonkavitska. Our Prototypo 6 took care of him. And now we've just got to worry about that M103. But he's stuck up in that corner there. There we go. And we're waiting for the turret to turn. And it has turned. Right, go for it. Well, did get some stun, I believe, on that one. And there's the Scorpion. He is at the back of the map. Unfortunately, we just lost our A phase 1. So now it's even numbers both sides. We've got the Kampfpanzer 3 out in the field. The Prototypo 6 guarding the south side of the city. And of course, Angelina's out on the east side of the map. Now this Arty does have fairly fast speed. It's 56.3 kilometers an hour. But Angelina can probably do faster than that because she has got the turbo device. And she's got a reasonably good view range as well, 270 meters. So she can not only move fast, but also see if the enemy's out there. The Kampfpanzer III is moving up through the field. He probably wouldn't be able to spot the M103 if the M103 was making grounds towards our cap. But if he does go to the cap, we will know it. And in fact, the M103 is headed our direction, or Angelina's direction. She's stopped to take a shot. She's lined him up. And, oh, she sees the enemy Arty, goes for them instead. And she takes him out. But she did take a hit from the M103. So she has got a kill. But she's now going to have to run for it. Because otherwise that M103 will definitely come after her. Because now he's all alone defending. And in fact, he hasn't come after her. And in fact, he's just been wiped out by the teammates. And so that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was the second class tanker for Angelina75 of OLIMP in the Bat Châtillon 155-55. She managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. She got 5 exactly in that game. And her win rate was only 1,545, which is good, but not particularly good. Angelina's done a lot better than that. So I think she must have been having a fairly difficult week. And she says, thank you for taking out the Arty. Yes, somebody did thank her for getting that guy. And so, yes, he's gone. He was out the game. But let's have a look at the team scores and see where Angelina was. Well, bit mid-table. The top scorer in the game was the M103, the hitter. He got 6,189 hit points of damage, and he picked up the high caliber. Second highest damage was the Prototypo 6, who managed 5,663, and he got 11 slayers and a tank sniper, and he was still alive at the end of the game. And the third highest damage, well, that turned out to be the Barask, who managed to get 11 slayers medal, but wasn't alive at the end of the game. He got 3,154 hit points. Angelina picked up 1,407, which puts her well down here in the on the table. She was actually beaten by 4 members of the enemy team and 6 members of her own team, which means that, yes, she was actually in 11th place when it came to damage. At least I think that, yes, it is 6. Yep. So when it came to kills, though, she's a lot higher up the table because the top scorer was the Prototypo 6, who managed to get 5, 1 short of getting his top gun. The second highest was the M103, got 4 kills, and 3 kills went to the Barask on our team. Angelina got 2 kills, which means she's in joint 4th with the A Phase 1, the Sharp Future 4, and the Medved. And when it came to base XP, she's still in 4th place because 1,864 hit points, or it's 1,864 base experience points, rather, not hit points, went to the Prototypo 6. 1,190 went to the Brass. Those were the only 2 managed to get over 1,000 base in the game, with 926 going to the AE Phase 1 and 838 going to Angelina. She fired 12 rounds, got 5 direct hits on the enemy and 2 penetrating shots in that game, and 7 splash. 1,407 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. I'm pretty certain that the penetrating shots was the GW Tiger. Let's have a look. Yes, it was. 500 hit points from that one. And the FV4202, yes, she got a penetrating shot on that guy as well, which is amazing because he doesn't have particularly good armor, but it does around the turret. But she must have hit the engine deck or something of that nature. Remember, the guy stopped after moving and for a brief moment, and her shell came in and swatted him like a fly. And yeah, he must have been very unimpressed with that. But as you know, he's out the game. He's gone. He was stationary too long, even if it was only for a second. Anyway, let's have a look at the detail. She received 1 hit. It was a penetration. That was the M103. Expected that it would penetrate her. She's really hasn't got any armor at all, really, so to speak. Only 16 millimeters. That's the strongest armor on the Bat Chat 155-55. 5 enemy vehicles were damaged. 2 were killed, and she got 1,960 hit points of stun assist off 7 stuns, which is a very good amount, but apparently it's not that good when it comes to getting better than a 3rd class, or a 2nd class rather. On a premium account, or a free-to-play account rather, so she made a loss of 2,620 credits. She would have made a profit on a premium account on this occasion. And on the XP, well, she earned 1,676 overall, but it was only a 2x2 day. So that's the score as it stands at this moment. Angelina in the lead. We'll now have to play Talon's replay and see if he can beat her. Let's have a look. The second replay is on the south spawn of Overlord, and talon1958 has elected to use the M53 M55. He's got the improved rammer, vents, and gun lane drive, and vent purge as well. Game on. Based on the hull of the M47 pattern tank, known as Night Pig by Steve Alst, because of course he tends to play it shotgun most of the time, and just comes up behind enemy tanks and blasts them with that 155mm. It's actually a very good Arty. Very wide field of fire. Case ready to go. Targets in sight. You can hear that there's destruction going on. Of course, he can't see the enemy tanks, but there's the tank right on that corner. Well, he lost 155 hit points, and it was a brask at that. Now, the standard reload is 40.27 seconds. Talon's got 32.09, so he's slightly slower on the reload than Angelina, but of course his shells will actually do more. 900 alpha, 52mm of pen. Okay. Down one, CS53, and that looks a fairly good one to hit because he's on his own. And trouble is, we just don't have somebody inside of him at the moment. And so he's reselecting again. There's a problem with if you keep reselecting and not firing at enemy tanks, then you wait all that time to dial in, and by the time you've dialed in and the enemy disappears, he's fired. Good. Then you waste the opportunity, but he didn't waste the opportunity there because he got a direct hit with that shot. I always try to keep my shells pumping out the barrel as quickly as I possibly can. So the moment it's loaded, it's on its way to its new customer. Oh, we just spotted where the enemy Arty is. Yep, he's over in the corner. Behind that big tree. Not the one directly there, but there's the 53 TP. Fires. Direct hit again! So that's 2 blind hits that Talon's managed to put in so far. There's 2 Arty on each team, and both of them are M53, M55. So it's going to be a fun game. And our team have already managed to make it up to the far end on the beach. Okay, it's a good position. Shrek lines up ahead of his path, rounds out, and it was a long-range shot because it was right at the other end of the map. But it did manage to get some damage. You got 180 off that one. And now the enemy is actually trying to make an assault on our cap area. We do have an iron Arty near the bolts, so he can turn around and effectively stop anyone getting to the cap. Okay, the enemy Barask in the field, but there's the CS53, and look at the amount of hit points he's already lost. Admittedly, some of those shots are probably from our teammates, but that 106 was definitely down to Talon, and he's changing position. Oh, we just lost one of our tanks, the 53 TP, who was guarding the cap area, and he's gone, so we do definitely need to move up. Our teammate in the other M53, M55 is staying behind, but he really should move up at this point, because we don't know where that Barask is actually going to go, the one down in the south. He could easily head towards the beach just to find out where the artillery fire is coming from. Plus, we're already one up on the enemy and near assaulting their cap area. If our M53, M55 stays where he is, he might get wiped out. Talon, in the meanwhile, needs to support the guys who are actually making their way inland, and he's lining up on the T-28 pilots and the Shrek, the one he hit earlier. Oh no, it's a different one. They have more than one Shrek, or do they? Well, 220 off that one now. All helps. And yes, our M53, M55 has been wiped out, so I was right. That Barask didn't stay where he was. He came onto the beach, found the M53, M55, wiped him out, and now is changing position. In fact, looks like he's headed back towards, or is that the other one? The enemy does have two Barasks. I think one of them's chasing us, and the other one is headed back towards his own cap area. So we definitely need to get up this chine. But once we get up the chine, not to move any further, because something is probably behind us at this moment, chasing us. Okay, we can go for the enemy Arty. He's just got wiped out. Okay, who's available? There's the T-28. Take him. And the other Arty just fired. Okay, now we need to move. Ideally to get behind this rock. Not this side of it, the other side, to protect ourselves from the Barask if he comes up behind us. There's the M53, it's been spotted. There's the enemy Barask, he's on the bowl. In fact, that is the one. So they've lost one of their Barask, the other one is still in play though. Okay. Take the T-28, go for it. Yes! Perfect shot. We're almost about to cap out. And that's it. Game's over. And we've won. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was the third class tanker for talon1958 in the M53 M55. You managed to get a third class tanker out of that one, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 11. And his win rate was 1,993, which is very good indeed. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see that he was near the top when it came to damage, because the high scorer was the Grom, who managed to get a high caliber for 3,977 hit points. Second highest, the Barask on the enemy team with 3,095. And the third highest was another Barask on the enemy team, get 3,087. And when it came to the fourth place, well, that goes to the T-28 prototype in the enemy team that Talon managed to kill. He got 2,707. So Talon is actually in, he was beaten by 2 members of his own team and 3 members of the enemy team. That means he's 6th when it comes to damage. When it came to kills, though, we can see top scorer is the Barask, who managed 4 kills. 3 kills went to our 122 TM, and 2 kills went to the Grom, the GST Term, the Pershing, and the T-28 prototype on the enemy team. Talon only got the 1 kill, which means that he's actually in 4th place when it comes to kills. When it came to base XP, though, it's the Grom who managed to get 1,102. 1,034 went to the 122 TM. These were the only 2 who managed to get over 1,000 base, with the third place going to the GST Term with 783. Followed by the E75 with 769, And then Talon in 5th place with 751, beating the Barask, who was the best one on the enemy team. He fired only 8 rounds, so less rounds than Angelina did. Got 4 direct hits, but none of them penetrated, but he did get 9 splash. Damage of 1,869 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He didn't get a medal because, of course, he got 6 enemy vehicles damage and 1 killed. So yes, if he hadn't hit and killed that that T-28 prototype, then he might have been in with a chance of actually getting a Confederate medal. But yes, he didn't know that at the time. 886 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. On a free player count, he actually made a profit of 7,241 credits. And he also took away 1,502 experience points out of that game as well. So who actually won the competition? Well, we can see here is Talon. And of course, it's a 3rd class. And here's Angelina. And she got a 2nd class. Angelina wins again, yes, by a very narrow margin. Because although Angelina got a worse win 8 than Talon did, she also got a 2nd class and a bruiser. That counts. That equals. That equals Talon's score, but the 2nd class is definitely better than him. So yes, Angelina wins on this occasion. So it's going to have to go down to another week, and we'll have to find out what happens next week and see who actually wins. So yes, it would have been Angelina who enjoyed Sunday morning, lying in bed, having breakfast in bed, whilst Talon has to get up and look after Remy. Hope you enjoyed that replay and the video. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.